Do you desire a Panadapter for your Ten Tec Orion or Ten Tec Omni VII? How about a logbook that integrates with the radio? And are you using Linux like I am and wish there was something available as a solution so you wouldn't have to run a different operating system than your preferred one? Well, this is November 8 Echo Mike, and what you're looking at is some software that I've developed using, with the help, I should say, of AI, particularly Claude Code. So if you like the software, wish to try it out, you can feel free. It's available on my GitHub page, which I'll post in the links. And then you can go ahead and make it be what you would like it to be as well. Use it as a framework to then maybe develop and add features or tweak things in the software to make it what you would like it to be. That's the beauty of open source in Linux. So what you're looking at on the right monitor is the Orion control software. It's linked currently to my Ten Tec Orion. In the software, there's a setting where you can also link to the Ten Tec Omni VII or Orion 2 radios. I'm here on 40 meters. There's a thunderstorm rolling in soon, so you notice the Panadapter jumping around a lot. That's not the fault of the SDR Play receiver that is giving us the very nice view. It's just simply band conditions this afternoon here in Michigan during summertime. On the screen you notice some things. There's the control of the radio, which we notice across the top mimics many of the features in the radio. You can then operate the radio from the front panel still. All the buttons are completely live and work in conjunction with this software. So if you prefer to turn a knob, you can. If you prefer to grab your mouse wheel, you can. Either is perfect, doesn't matter. What's added is to the radio and to the station is this very nice Panadapter. And on the Panadapter, you notice there's some spots being populated. The Orion control program has its own DX cluster built in and then populates what comes in on the cluster to the Panadapter window. The spot window up here, drop down, gives you the ability to turn on DX spots or POTA spots, FT8 spots, which I don't currently have on, but if we turn that on, looks like there's some FT8 activity here, and quickly you'll have some FT8 spots start coming in. Let's unmute.
Everybody for being there. We appreciate your support. And we're going to be back tomorrow 1:30 with different net controllers up to 5 o'clock. In the meanwhile, keep smiling. This is the way we like you. And have fun. 73 for now. And for the
I was hoping to work some of these, or at least demo some of these spots, but it looks like they've quit transmitting here. The K8 ZZT station, I heard light earlier. Either way, we can use this as a demonstration. So you notice clicking on that, what just happened? The radio snapped to it. And on the left monitor, CQR log is operating, and we notice it's populated in the log book. And there's also a new tab. This is CQR log enhanced, also available on my GitHub page, which has POTA supported in it now. And the park number is filled in there as a hunter. If you use the program as a activator, you fill in your park number and it will stay in throughout your activation. If you have multiple park numbers, you just add a comma in between. Back to Orion control. unfortunately, there's not a lot of POTA activity this afternoon. I was hoping to just tab through those and let you listen to some, but unfortunately we don't have that. Well, let's go on with just some other features of the program. Up here at the top, we have a zoom control, which is going to snap you to center and then allow you to zoom in and out of the band. So if we wanted to focus more on the sideband portion, we're now dialed in more on that. And we can just do
the... in the ivories here a little bit there, but a lot of you are married, but we got a copy on you there.
The old click to tune.
It tries to rain, but it never gets there. So, but, you know...
Let's click on no signal here. You notice I have a couple arrows pop up. What's added with the software? Drag and drop filters. So we can change the filter bandwidth, and this is literally changing the filter bandwidth, just as if you were turning the bandwidth knob on the front of the Orion. It's now, you can just grab it. It's kind of handy when you're on a signal and you want to be right on their bandwidth. Or earlier I had a offending signal that was creeping into the station that I was listening to. I was able to just dial it back and eliminate it, and you could visually see where to set your filter bandwidth. On the carrier side of the passband, we can also grab this and move it, and if you notice over here the passband tuning is changing. What this is doing is operating the high cut low cut feature in the Ten Tec Orion. So this is overall filter bandwidth on this side, and then this side is also filter bandwidth, but it's bringing in passband tuning in unison with it, just like the radio does. Now it's visually comes into play because of the software integrated with an SDR play. While we're here in the sideband portion and just demonstrating some things with the manipulation, we notice the manual notch. We know the Orion has auto notch, but it also has a manual notch, and you can dial that with the knob, and then you can push it again and change the width of it. Well, now it's all right here, simple, easy to control. Let's really zoom in on this. So you see the notch filter. I can just grab and drag that, and if you watch the little readout over here, you see that that's telling us the hertz. We're setting that in the passband, and then a scroll of the mouse wheel makes it wider or narrower. So this might come into play with a carrier here on sideband, or CW actually being able to notch out an interfering signal that's right on top where the filter might not take it out. Here a notch filter can. The spot audio filter also works the same way. So now you can visually see it, what part of the signal you want to enhance, and again how wide and how narrow. Very useful for weak signal work with the Ten Tec Orion. The purpose of this software was to literally make the Orion perform as good or better than anything that's out there today. I personally love my Ten Tec radios. The audio just to me sounds better than others that I've tried. Even some of the top rated ones on the Sherwood list rated above my radios, that to my ears just I would rather have the ones I've already got. But I would like to add some of these visual features and controls to my station. So that's what this software is accomplishing. Built in to the software is also many features. It's probably some things that should have other videos done. I kind of wanted this one just to be a quick overview to introduce the program. And if anybody wants to try it out, they're welcome to. The buttons on the program tend to mimic the ones on the radio. So you notice the antenna selection here. Panel looks identical to the Orion. The which one is transmit VFO and which one's the sub and which one's the receive. That set of buttons is identical. The A to B, B to A VFO controls usually are over by the band, are on the front of the radio over by the band registry. Here I put it right in the middle of the two VFOs, made the most sense to me in the software. If you want to work split, boom, you just start in split by clicking just like on the front of the radio. It's that simple on an Orion to go into split. However, you noticed with the software what we did was we programmed it to go up 5 automatically. Let's view that. Let's zoom in on it. And then with a right click, we can control that BVFO and snap to the station that the DX is working. So if we notice visually what's going on is one option to be able to get on the correct signal to have the best chance to work a DX station operating split. And we can also listen with the Orion to both VFOs simultaneously. And here's where we can just quickly tab that open. If say you had your headset on and you're listening with both ears to both VFOs or to just the A VFO, you can quickly flip to the split where now you've got one in one ear and one in the other, and you're listening to the DX station transmit and the station that he's working transmit, and quickly figure out where you need to transmit so that you'll be heard. So I think that's a very nice feature addition with the software for sideband work. Looks like someone's running some AM up here. Tonight, this evening.
Oh, so well, I have to take your word for you're doing all that, but it is...
C'est avec le sol, là, ça te fait résonner plus bas, mais en haut, t'as plus ça, là, fait que ça va résonner pas mal plus haut.
Right. So we work with about...
So if you're listening, you notice that when I click, we're there instantly. So this is what's another nice feature of the program is there's no lagginess to it at all. It's just instant operation between the radio. It works very seamlessly between the radio and the software. For the CW op, which I am, we have just one other thing here. This button, the log button, gives us a fresh log window. So we had that Kilo 8 station in there from clicking on the Panadapter Display link to the spot. Well, now it's fresh, and if I was, say, going to work this station that's not spotted, I can, of course, just type in the call sign over there and CQR log. On CW, let's click down here to the CW signal. And click on this. So that's a way above my speed level, but I kind of get there talking about having a beer, finish, something, and he's running, what, 50 words a minute, cruising along. So what do we learn? We have a CW reader, and it actually works quite well. That's a strong station, but I just think maybe that speed level it's struggling with a little bit. Maybe let's turn off a couple of these things, and again with the static crashes could be interfering, especially at that speed, really giving the reader difficulty. Let's leave that on for a moment and also turn on the skimmer here, that skim function that we've got. And again, this is new software, 100% developed in-house. It's not affiliated with any other software that was prior available on Windows. This was a lot of trial and error getting this. There we go, look at that. The skimmer is picking, well, I guess it's starting to print over here in the CW window as well. But look at that. So the skimmer is copying N2 ATB, calling CQ. We have a W1AW. Oh, that's probably the code practice going on up there. And we've got this guy running 52 words a minute. And it's printing beautifully now on him. I wonder if that switched to a different So what's going on there is somebody's actually sending, I think, with a paddle at quick, and then they're working a station that's using a keyboard send, which at that speed is, I think, really difficult to send clean with a paddle. Not that someone that can copy by ear can't copy it, it's just the program's not going to read it out that good. Anyway, back to, we can close those out. Those are a couple nice additional features that I really like as a CW operator in the Orion control. I can get going on that all day long on additional features there. Let's see, to snap the band back here, if we just kind of zoom out and in, we're back to, you notice, the full band. And I apologize, going so quick with that mouse button can probably get a little bit old. I do have this feature where I can turn this on and off, this line. I kind of like it when I'm trying to click so that it gets me on the signal. It's better than if I don't have it. And you notice what happened there. We were on CW, now we're on sideband. And what happened, we just switched from CW mode over here in the mode button to sideband, lower sideband for 40 meters automatically, all in software. So again, that's nice. With the band stack in the Orion, you can kind of do that, tab through, and it'll change your modes for you. But with click to tune here, auto band or mode changes, it's really a nice addition to the station. And you can see we've got the band stack registry here. 6 meters is for the Omni VII, which you'll pick that here, or I pick that here in this drop down for the Omni VII radio, front panel mode or remote mode. And there's some SDR play setup here, station setup, and opened on another window. But some of the other hardware that I use here at my station, I have the USBWinkeyer from K1EL. Here's your cluster that you're connecting to so that you can change that if you wish to go to a different one. I have a DCU3 with my ham4 rotor, and so that's controlled in the software. And this rose here, we can see I'm pointing at Europe, it looks like right now. And KZZT must be southwest of me, and so when I clicked on him, it put the direction where I would turn to if I desired to turn the rotor there. I have a Telepost Inc. LP100a digital vector RF wattmeter. That's integrated into the station as well, so that allows for so the tune button just tuned the radio on the left click. On a right click, it will actually run an SWR sweep. Let's see, I think I've probably done that for this band, yes. a couple of times at least. And so here's the sweep of my Moxon antenna that I use here on my tower, and here's my low point. And then it also has a real nice feature because of the features in the LP100, the software controlling that and reading information from it. It also gives me my Smith chart, which was quite an interesting one for this antenna because it has 2 resonant points and makes this loop right around the perfect 50 ohm spot. So it's not bad for a homebrew. And the one thing nice with this is it stores this information. So over time, if my antenna starts to change, which I have had one changing on me recently, it lets me quickly see that right here in this control program. And of course we don't want to look at that all the time. So what's the point of all this? I guess it's maybe starting to come to your attention that it really enhances just day-to-day operations. Antenna design work, this program aids with that now, interacting with my LP100a. It's all software running in Linux, and looks like we're starting to get more booms there, so we'll probably be disconnecting the station here soon. There was one other thing I was going to show. Oh yes, for Linux, for contest work this weekend I was running not 1mm in the Work All Europe contest, and mostly just doing a lot of setup with that program, more so than operating. But we did do a little bit of operating here, so let's see if I can open that contest. And so I just worked a few stations here, sent the QTC, so that was some design work here to get that into the program that didn't have it before. So we have a CW reader added here into the not 1mm program, and then with a control shift K, it brings up a type box for the CW type there at the bottom. So that Orion control software program is still operating, and it's just pulling all that data from the CW console within that program over here to not 1mm. So if I want to just have this front and center, it'll populate either with my own skimmer, the DX cluster, of course, if you connect that, then it's going to populate over there in that band registry and allow you the up and down arrows. Linux software here in use at November 8 Echo Mike. So that was my goal. I prefer Linux over the other operating systems, and I prefer my old Ten Tec radios, and so now I'm able to enjoy them with any feature that the new radios have, and operate the operating system of choice of Linux, and do everything that others are doing with other operating systems. So that's an introduction to the software. If you have questions on features or benefits of it that you wonder about, please ask. This is November 8 Echo Mike 73.